Before starting, be sure to review the complete assembly guide available by scanning this QR code or visiting tsoproducts.com/support. Lay the extension table top with the TSO logo facing down, overhanging the edge of the table, with these 3 holes facing you. Place the machine bracket against the bottom of the table with leg oriented down. From below, insert the flathead screw through the hole and hand tighten. Repeat for the other 2 machine brackets. Align the holes in the shelf bracket with the holes in the machine bracket and the pre-drilled holes on the tabletop. By hand, install the M6x10 socket head screws through the shelf bracket and into the threaded holes in the machine bracket. Snug, but don't tighten until later. Using a number 2 Phillips driver, install 2 pan head screws through the shelf bracket and into the tabletop. Snug, but don't tighten yet. Repeat for the other 2 brackets. Slide the spring onto the threaded portion of the M6 cap screw and insert the screw through the slot in the shelf bracket and into the hammer nut. With the hammer nut's knurled side facing the machine bracket, hand thread until the end of the screw is flush with the back end of the hammer nut. Repeat for the other 2 brackets. Ensuring the hammer nuts are horizontal, place the extension table at a slight downward angle and onto the lip of your MFT3 extrusion. Slide it in so the hammer nuts enter the D-slot and the machine brackets hook on the MFT3 extrusion. You may need to push in the spring-loaded screws so the hammer nuts clear the T-slot. The assembly should drop down and the extension table should sit flat. With the hex driver, push in the spring-loaded screw and then fully tighten, all the while maintaining pressure on the spring. Repeat for the other 2 brackets. Looking through the side of the MFT3 extrusion, verify the hammer nuts have turned and clamped against the extrusion as shown here. Using a number 3 Phillips, tighten the 3 flathead screws on the extension table top. Using the hex driver, tighten the 2 M6 cap screws holding the brackets together. Repeat for the other 2 brackets. Using a number 2 Phillips, tighten the 2 panhead screws that hold the tabletop to the shelf bracket. Repeat for the other 2 brackets. General assembly is complete. Here's how to remove the assembled table. Using the hex driver, loosen the middle spring-loaded socket head screw located on the machine bracket, so the hammer nut disengages from the MFT3 extrusion. Repeat for the other 2 brackets. With the hammer nuts horizontal, lift the outside edge of the extension table at a slight upward angle and remove from the MFT3. Here's how to attach the assembled table. Ensuring the hammer nuts are horizontal, place the extension table at a slight downward angle and onto the lip of your MFT3 extrusion. Slide it in so the hammer nuts enter the D-slot and the machine brackets hook on the MFT3 extrusion. You may need to push in the spring-loaded screws so the hammer nuts clear the T-slot. The assembly should drop down and the extension table should sit flat. With the hex driver, push in the spring-loaded screw and then fully tighten, all the while maintaining pressure on the spring. Looking through the side of the MFT3 extrusion, verify the hammer nuts have turned and clamped against the extrusion as shown here. If you find the extension table isn't coplanar to your MFT3 surface once assembled, you can use the included shims to adjust it. Follow these steps to shim your table. Using a number 3 Phillips driver, loosen the 3 flathead screws on the extension table. Next, using a number 2 Phillips driver, loosen the 6 black panhead screws on the underside of the table. Run 2 flat boards across the MFT3 and extension table and secure with 4 clamps. Insert included spacers between shelf brackets and the bottom of the table. Match the slots in the spacers with the screw locations. Do this for all 3 brackets. Unclamp the boards and remove from the table. Retighten the 6 black panhead screws on the underside of the table. Test tables for coplanar by running a flat board across the 2 tables. If it doesn't catch, your table is properly shimmed.